Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, for years, John Swinney has prided himself on being known as Honest John. Well, it seems that Honest John isn't as honest as perhaps he thinks, and in fact, it could be Mistaken John, or if you prefer, Liar John. He has been making false claims about tax for many, many years. He was invited to correct the record, and he decided no, he's not going to correct the record after making all these claims. He is no longer seen, I suppose, as Honest John, but that's up to him. He's now doubled down on the false claims about Scots paying less tax than their English counterparts, because it is mathematically and plainly and obviously not true. And everybody knows it, including, I suspect, him. And yet he still makes the claims because it sounds good, even though it is a load of rubbish. He's refusing now to correct the official record after making these false claims. And the administration have publicly bragged, of course, for many years now, that, quote, the majority of Scots taxpayers pay less to the public purse than those south of the border, even though Scotland is the highest taxed area of Britain. New analysis, indeed, from the Scottish Fiscal Committee revealed that the fact is not, in fact, a fact. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a load of old dingo's kidneys. The opposite is, in fact, the reality. Scots pay far more. But despite this obvious fact being a lie, they continue with it. They keep doubling down. They keep insisting that it's true. But it isn't. And even their own figures show that it isn't true. Now, these are just estimates that this group have put forward, and not the, quote, actual figures. But Swinney's been confronted about the issue at Holyrood, and he during First Minister's questions, actually, on Thursday. And Craig Hoy, he was saying that he asked the First Minister, will the First Minister stop playing the daft laddie on income tax and concede 2 points? One is that he has broken his manifesto pledge not to freeze income tax, and he should also concede that he has repeatedly misled this Parliament, as have his ministers, on how many Scots are now paying more tax than they would if they lived in England. And he refused to do so because it just doesn't go with the narrative. And so they have this lie continues. The thing is, he can lie all he likes, but now everyone knows it's a lie. But everyone knows it's a lie for quite some time. Now, on top of the rises that they promised they wouldn't do and then did, they've previously said there'll be no more rises, but now the answers are changing, and they're now refusing to rule out further income tax rises. In fact, they almost certainly have to come now. Because of the way the formulas are worked, with the any changes to what money's going across up to Scotland, it's likely that they're going to have to raise income tax even further, because that's all Shona Robertson knows. And it is likely to go up maybe a point or two. Maybe they're just adjusting the thresholds. They'll do something, but they need to bring more money in because they keep wasting the money they've got. They've got to find at least an extra billion, at least, and many think it's nearer 2, just to stand still, not to improve anything. But he keeps on about it. He says, we've maintained our manifesto commitments. No, again, a lie. You've broken your manifesto commitments. What is it with politicians not telling the truth? Even when it's presented to them. This is what you said. This is what you've done. Can you see they're not the same? And they're blind to it because they're so arrogant. They can't accept that they've failed in any way. But, I mean, the evidence is there. The Scottish Fiscal Commission aren't going to be lying. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, well, this is not true. They've demonstrated the truth. They've demonstrated the claim is false. And that if you are Scottish, you are, generally speaking, paying more in tax. And ironically, getting far less for it. That's what happens if you keep voting SNP, I suppose, though, isn't it? It's expensive and bad. Thanks very much. Bye.